Right folks, welcome to this video. You once again join us in the wild, unforgiving lands of Scotland. And today, we've come to explore a cool place. I've only been here one time before ever, and it was like 3 years ago or something. So I thought I'll come back and document this piece of ancient history. And just look at the landscape we're exploring. This little bridge here made out of railway sleepers. It's a stunning scene. Today we're about to look at what is like a viaduct over a river, but it's a special viaduct because it used to be part of the early estate. Some of these old walking paths near River Isla. But an interesting thing about it, there's actually a massive water pipe for the mains water goes over the top, so it's actually an aqueduct rather than a viaduct, folks. So it's just a wee cool adventure. We thought, where can we go? And we were in the area, so yeah, let's get into this one, folks. It's cool often to document history which is unseen or kind of undocumented. So this is a mad scene on this adventure, folks. We've got the River Isla flowing through that kind of foresty area, but a lot of the trees and stuff's never been cleared up since like Storm Arwen about 1.5 years ago. So we are now out in the field at the other side of the wood, and we just noticed there's this unusual gathering of trees. So I was just wondering if there's maybe been like a farm croft or something here back in the day. Another cool thing, like there's an old vintage like trailer. It's been parked up there at a certain time. Maybe used as a feeder for the cows when they're out in this field. I love these old dry stone dikes as well. They look so ancient. The way they're constructed with those massive raw stones here from the hill. It looks like they're from an ancient time. Here, look at the size of the stones at the side of the gate. They're like proper standing stones, man. Ancient Scottish history, just check that out. It's like sandstone. And this whole bit of ground here is like a bedrock seam pretty much. There's no much earth on top of the ground in areas like this. And the River Isla's just carved that mad channel out of the land over the years. But I just thought when we saw this gathering of trees here, folks, it's always a spontaneous adventure on this channel, and this is how we often find the craziest things. We just go off the beaten path, always with like the greatest respect to the landowners and farm owners. Just check this scene out behind us with this mad hill getting lit up for the sun. Yeah, we'll take a quick look. Wow, there's some massive stones here. Sometimes big stones like this were deposited from the glaciation period in Scotland. But it'll be interesting to see what these ones are. Obviously the big ones at the field gates have been moved there from a farmer at a certain time over the years. Look at this, here's an example of the massive stones used for the boys' gate. And then look at this, the crazy big chunks of sandstone lying about here. This is the sort of mad little bit in the ground that we saw from a distance and just wondered what it was like. Somebody's maybe been camping, there's been a big drink bottle there. This would be a cool little camping spot, but the farmer would most likely chase you if he saw you. Yeah, these walls are just so old. You can only imagine the history that has gone on here like over the years. Generations of agriculture. Generations of farming. And this has obviously always been like a little rough bit of ground in between. I'm just wanting to have a look up over the brow of this hill and see if there's any old like abandoned history or buildings. This is an unusual bit here with all these stones because there's no stones in any of those bits. And that shows the ground was most likely like this originally, and they've shifted a lot of stones. But I don't think there's any shifting of these big ones, eh? How crazy is it that those stones are here? Because I don't think they're connected to the bedrock. I think they're on the top, like they must be deposited from the glaciation period. It's the only thing it could have been, folks. It's just mad how this hill's kind of like that though, and none of the other bits are. But as humans here in this lifetime, we're looking at it like such a small dot on the history of the planet here. It's crazy to often just peel back the layers of history and imagine how it was a time before. Maybe 10 generations ago there was something going on at this hill. Here I can see there's a wee red kind of hutty over there. Look at this, folks. I've put the camera back on because this is just such a crazy bit in the land here. It's almost like there's some mega old thing been here for pre-history. I'm wanting to look at those big stones over there as well. Check this out, wow. See, it's maybe been used as a quarry then at a certain time. Whoa, there's an old car, folks. What? Just shows you what you find there when you go on adventures. We have just found a vintage car, folks. This is so cool. And it just shows you spontaneous on the video, folks. Like, it was a live find. I was just recording these stones and boom, history. Look at the way this tree has grown. This is the craziest tree I've ever seen. It's right along there, and then it's grown all the way up. Now look at that, that's the sort of stone that's throughout the ground here. Wow, what kind of car is it? Oh, the interior looks like 1950s. Wow. Check that out, folks. Look at the old steering wheel and stuff and the dash. Does it say that on it? Look, here's the number plate. Look, it's been like a green colour, almost military green. Here we go, look, DGS 681. And that's obviously the back panel. Get in the comments if you know what type of car this is. My old man will come with it. Oh, is it a Morris? Judging from the front, I think it's a Morris 1000. I think it is. Wow, look, there's the boot. The old remains of the side light and stuff's there. Oh, it's crazy. Real history, folks. Look, the wheel here has been painted red. It's been green with red wheels, if that is the wheel off it. Now look at that there. The old door handle. So it's been a 4-door. It might not be a Morris 1000 either. It could just be like a Morris of some sort though for that era. So that shows all these stones which are on top of the car have been like dumped, most likely from fields and from the farmer around here. Oh look, here's a cool detail. This is before the days of indicators. And look, that was the indicator that popped out that hole. It was like a wee stick with a bulb inside it. Wow. This is amazing. Look at that, the dash. I was trying to get a good image of the dash. It's maybe a bit of a machine. Oh, the remains of the door cloths there on the far side. But yeah, this has just been covered up and crushed. Is the engine in it? Yeah, it is. The little engine. Wow, we're climbing out of history right now, folks. No way. Whoa, this is crazy. These trees as well, they've just fallen over it. It's just mad. There's the front of the engine, the old distributor. The old thermostat. Still in there. Then the old rockers. Wow, this is just madness to see this. I think it is an old Morris. Look, there's the front end. It's so far buried. Then it must have had wing mirrors. See, the coil springs and stuff still all in there. So it's had coil springs. It's not been that old. A lot of cars had leaf springs back in the day. You can see the grill's still on it, but it's just buried. I was going to try and get like a shot, but it's hard. Yeah, it's a bit of a machine, I think that. Maybe a bit of farm equipment. It's got like a chain, some rollers. And look, there's more sticking out there. It's hard to get the shape of that. It's kind of been crushed so much. Could have been. Look at the old wing there. And even the headlight, it's like it's busted just right out of there. That was a cool little find though. It's obviously been a hole here and they've chucked that in, and just think of the years it's passed. It's maybe been sitting in there since the 60s or whatever, just getting covered by the farm debris and muck. Yeah, so there's a few things here which is historical. The hole in the ground itself has obviously been a stone quarry. Maybe some of these farm buildings or houses was built from the stone from this hole, and then at a later time it's been used as a midden and a dump. in that little car. You can just imagine it fleeing around these roads around here at one time, and then, yeah, imagine what else might be under our feet here. Judging from the stones, this whole bit's been backfilled in. Wow, that was just a special thing. Spontaneous abandoned car, folks. Just out here, and who would have thought it in the middle of this landscape? Crazy. See, another interesting thing, the size of this stone here, I'm wanting to video it. It's like there's been something here maybe too, like, would there have been a little shed? Look, there's actual slate. The thing is, this could be piles of stuff just dumped. If this has been a bit of waste ground for them. It's maybe even had trees on it a few years ago. Look at this, folks, it's a massive chunk of rock here. And most likely, it looks like a type of sandstone, but it's quite a loose sandstone. And you can see it's like layers where it's been formed. But then it's probably been snapped off in the ice age and then carried for miles down in the ice. And then when the ice melted, the big stones were just deposited like this on the surface of the land. But this one here is probably one of the biggest ones on this whole area, and it's impressive. It honestly looks like there's just been a volcano or something blowing and all the stones have just landed here. There's even more big ones in front of us. Look at this, folks, underneath the stone somebody's been stashing the old drink bottle. So I'm not sure if this has been like a camping spot for somebody, or maybe the farmer's throwing the old glass bottles under there when he's been working, getting a refreshing drink. Maybe ploughing these fields with his horse and the little single furrow plough. Yeah, these stones are crazy. Look at this one. Sometimes the stones can actually get marks on them like this from the ice and stuff wearing its way over as the ice was sliding along. Sometimes bits like this would get worn, big channels and grooves in them in a line, and then eventually it would just snap right off. Crazy history before humans were even walking about here. I don't know if this comes out on the video, folks. There's literally 2 deer right there. Probably doesn't come out on the video. They're not moving. It's because they're limited. They're on that steep. Oh, there's one deer sitting down. Look at this, folks. This stone they've made the wall out of. It's like they've just used the massive chunks that was available lying about. The old path from the early estate actually leads right along there, but because it's so like many years old, a lot of it's just washed away down the hill. When those trees and stuff fall, they just block the path. But estates like early estate and that, they're no kept the way they were back hundreds of years ago. At one time they would have had like 10 gardeners or whatever maintaining the whole landscape of places like this. Yeah, that whole bit though has fallen away down the hill over the years, because you can see the original dike line. See, the farmer's been dumping the stones for the field here as well as time has passed. This is crazy, folks. We just literally walked down to the bottom of the hill, down to the river, because I thought I knew the location of this viaduct, and now we haven't found it. And we've come back up to the field, and I've just literally noticed this. The farmer must have been doing a repair here, because there's an old trolley jack and a saw just randomly lying. Channel DJ's managed to pull it up on the phone, so we've got more of an idea where we're going, and we need to go further. So yeah, we're just heading along. It's a crazy mission that we're on. We thought it was going to be a casual walk along the field down to the viaduct, and then boom, nature's got something else, folks. All those fallen trees and stuff, it's totally blocking the path, and it's an extreme steep hill there, so it's no easy to negotiate up and down. Also, there's a lot of water running off this higher ground, and the ground in the forest is just proper saturated. For today's adventure, I'm just in the trainers, so yeah, it's just a mad mission. This is an interesting bit in the ground here, folks. It almost looks like there's been a wee shed or a yard here, most likely related to a local farm, but it could have potentially been a little farm croft of its own at this corner at a certain time. Yeah, we need to just keep on following this fence line along. It's a mad countryside scene out here, folks. That's a proper old, like, classic JCB sitting over there. There's no many like that still in operation. Yeah, sometimes piles of stones like this were brought from fields and stuff and dumped over the years. I say it a lot in my videos, but that's what we're looking at a lot of the time. It's like wild agricultural landscape we're exploring. And check the neck of this old shed trailer. It's been made out of like a bit of a van or something, I believe. Look at this, folks. These marks on the tree here were maybe from the combine header or something when the boys been coming round, when the tree was a wee tree growing at the corner of the field. Look at this, folks. At the edge of the field here, a massive piece of cast iron pipe. And an interesting thing with this aqueduct we're about to see, originally I believe it was constructed at the time of the Llantraethan Loch originally, when it was put in for the supply of water to Dundee or Angus. And the old water pipe, like, it's made of cast iron pipe and it goes through the aqueduct, whereas the newer one was put along the top of the aqueduct when they built the back water dam in 1969. We're going to go down and have a look at the viaduct. We'll have located it, but we were just coming to see what this is in the field here. Here, is it an old, like, well hole or something related to the water supply? Yeah, it must have gotten caught for the farmer's plough or something when he went over it. Yeah, it's a valve. See, that'll be connected with the pipe which leads from here. Look, is that a roof or something over there? See it? Yeah. We'll go and have a look. See that, folks? From a distance, this old railway sleeper looked like it was a roof or a little building or whatever, but it turns out it's not. Here, look, there's a bridge or something over there. Oh, can what? That'll be the water pipe at the other side of the hill. So the water pipe just leads right under the ground. Oh, look, there's somebody paragliding in the sky of all things, like. This is crazy. It'd be cool if the paraglide over here, we could be like, where's the ancient history? And they could flee about and tell us. Look at this, folks. You can see the line on the land here where actually the pipe is under the ground. Yeah. It's amazing to see how far below the ground the pipe like that actually is. And there's an interesting documentary, Scottish Water put it on YouTube, when they built Backwater Dam. There's actual helicopter clips they've recorded, and you can see the scar on the land created when they fitted that pipe. It was just a raw scar on the land the whole way from Backwater Dam, and then from Llantraethan here all the way to Dundee. It's been updated and upgraded, because I'm sure originally it was just Llantraethan Loch where the water supply came from, whereas now Backwater Dam was built to help support Llantraethan Loch. Look at this, folks. Along the side of here, it's old bits of the old pipe. Check it out, the thick cast iron. Obviously when they've been clearing this area recently, I don't know if they're a way to redo bits of the pipe or what. Look at that, a spider running up there. It's now a sanctuary for wildlife, this place, folks. Wow, what an adventure. I love exploring places that I've never seen before, but like this place, even though I've seen it, it was so long ago. It's just a madness to come back. Check this out, folks. We've made it to the secret viaduct in the forest, the forgotten aqueduct of Airlie, and here we are documenting it. That's what I love on this channel, folks. It's history which is hard to get to and hardly documented. And just look at this massive pipe here, fitted back probably the late 60s, early 70s. And it's actually a multi-span viaduct or aqueduct, because there's two arches here. Some aqueducts have actually got open water on top of them like a river, whereas other aqueducts is like this. They're still transporting water though, which changes their classification to an aqueduct. But the original pipe here actually runs within the structure of the bridge, and it would have just been a tidy open bridge until years later, when this construction was put on top, they fitted all these extra bits with the bars and girders. Wow, this is a different scene here for looking at this river and stuff. It's a mad scene. I'm wanting to climb onto those stones and get a decent angle of this. Look, this tree must have fallen, and look, because they've put this railing on, it's busted the top of the old stone. See, at a later time they've obviously had to put this green fence on as a safety precaution, because everybody's so soft these days, folks. They need extra railings not to fall off a thing like this. These extra cement side pieces must have been also fitted back at that time. Just think of the mad amount of water which was probably flowing through here. Here, it must be crazy, like if a tree or something fell on that. That must be the reason they're actually clearing a lot of it. Yeah, check the fence out here. That was probably put in back in the 60s or 70s. It's got a crazy industrial vibe to it. Can look at the way the corrosion's on this old metal. It's got the razor spikes at the top. And I believe at this side of the bridge you used to be able to actually see the old pipe below, which is an interesting bit of the history. It's a big viaduct really, considering. And this is the River Isla, which it's going over the top of. We're probably about 1.5 miles or 2 miles just downstream from the River Isla waterfall. And it's crazy that there's history like this just here. Yeah, I think there's a bit here that you can see the old pipe. Oh, this is it here. See, look here, folks, this is the old cast iron round pipe. The side here's been busted off, but originally I believe this pipe was like within the centre of that, so you wouldn't have seen the pipe originally and it would have been a lot tidier. But look, you can see the massive bits there as well. There's obviously a lot going on here with the water supply that the technical side of it, I'm obviously no clued up on it, but it's cool to just come and see this. Look at that, eh? Wow. It's a forgotten structure here. It's so special. I think the river was so high the last time as well, I couldn't even get near this. Look at this here. Here, there's loads of interesting stuff here. Look at all these big pipes. What has this been, folks? Massive pipes. It looks like a 90-degree section. Look, there's tons of bits of pipe here though, like that.
They all go down.
They all go down the way, but look how thick the cast is at the bottom. See what it might have been, old bits of pipe that was related to the old water supply that went over there. Because kind of how that pipe's releasing at the other side. Maybe there was an older system here that released at this side. It looks like pipes, see how they go down? It's like the water came out between these cement pieces here. Then look at this, this has been put in to guide the water away. See, the water's coming out of it there with incredible force. It's proper deep here. Look, there's so many pipes because there's another one there, 90 degree. Wow, the force of that coming out is just crazy to see. And just look at this massive ancient viaduct construction. Look, it's needing repaired. The stones is actually falling out of it. I'm thinking about going onto this stone. Yes, we're right in the middle of the river, folks. Right in the heart of history once again for this adventure. It's been so cool. This whole time I was wanting to come down and look at this, and it's been so long. And it's mad to think this wasn't just built as like a bridge like a lot of the other viaducts that we see on videos. This one was put here for like the industrial purpose of the water supply to Dundee. But I think because it was early estate it was running through, it had to be a tidy bridge. And it's mad to see it like this. Obviously bits like that, they've been put in later to guide and direct the water. Maybe that's something to do with the relation of that pipe for the flow of the water in the river to stop it eroding that embankment out. But yeah, it looks like it's actually getting to be in a poor condition, and that's maybe the reason they're clearing this forest on the way down. Another thing, it looks like the forest's been hand cleared, so I don't think they're allowed to use like machines on top of the public water supply. Potentially. That was just what I was theorising when I walked down that hill. There's so many bushes and stuff just growing out of here, and you can see when that tree's fallen down, it's smashed that fence. But it looks like when the river's high, it's literally like above my head height right now. And that tree could still go further and pull more of that fence down. Here, well, we'll go to the other side and look close at the pipe. It's often cool, folks, to see the force of the water coming out of a pipe like this. And we'll get a view of the viaduct from the other side. Yeah, there's been crazy stuff like mounted all over this. Maybe back when they had the first dam in the early days. Just different history related to that that's not been needed anymore. That's some mad thick cable there as well. Yeah, there's just so much bits of pipe and stuff like that. Oh look, there's a bit that says Stanton. So that shows it's maybe not that old. This bit of pipe here might be a newer bit. It's just crazy, folks. You just don't know what's under your feet in an area like this. And it's mad to think, like, if those are pipes, like, what are they actually doing? If there's water flowing through them, what, like, where's that going? Because literally, like, that must be the main water supply there. Check this out, folks. We're heading down. Watch this tree doesn't fall on your head. We're heading down to this pipe because it's a mad scene down here. Look at that, that's like some big on-off tap. Yeah, and a spare gasket, look, hanging on it. This is a total madness here, folks. Yeah, it looks like there's been actually a building or something that's been destroyed here. Because I can see proper shaped stones. Yeah, so it might have been a similar water outlet pipe to this, which we saw at the other side. Maybe the disused one. Look at the force of this water right here. Absolutely crazy. That is mad, like. Then look at this. This is actually a pipe here as well, there, lad. The force of that water is just insane. Look at the way it's crashed in there. I believe that must be some sort of pressure. I'll dry the lens. So I was just theorising, folks. This is like some regulator valve. If the pressure in the big pipe gets too much, it'll be released through here, and then if it drops down, the water would maybe slow down the flow here. Or this could be something totally different. This is maybe connected to the 1950's waterworks up the hill. It's just a bit of a scouring pipe. Yeah, the force is just crazy, like the quantity. But sometimes they need a scouring pipe to get rid of the debris before they pump the pure water. That's like a bullet. The pressure of that is just absolutely insane, folks. And then there we go, we can actually see from here another great view of the viaduct. I'm going down to the water's edge here, folks. Wow. It's crazy to have the variation of history from all eras, like even like the water supply of the country, there's layers to that, and we're witnessing it here. Just the amount of pipes coming out of this hill though leading into the river, it's interesting to see. And I would really love to see more about the water and how they do control it from the dam and create the water supply for the people. It'd be interesting to see the buildings and stuff like that. Check this out, there's more pipes coming out down here. Maybe once again from the old water supply. It was like a similar release pipe that they had. Yeah, the viaduct here is just a madness. It's interesting because the river flows down that way, and often with a river you'll get a breeze with the water, and the other side of this bridge is more like eroded from the bad weather and the wet conditions. This side doesn't actually look as bad, but that can be a lot to do with the flow of water in a place like this. Look at it, this pipe comes right out to the ground here. Way to make my way back up. Real adventures once again, folks, documenting small corners of the country that you just wouldn't normally see. So there you go, folks, another crazy adventure into the wild, unforgiving lands of Scotland, and we've documented more history, some of it never seen before on the channel, like that car and stuff in the quarry. It was just mad to see and cool to find, and the adventure to come to a place like this, it's just always worth it. Anyway, we're away to go a different route to go home. We're away to go straight up this hill and hopefully head the Lintrathen direction as the crow flies, and we'll see what we get into, folks. So tune in for the next episode for that. I'm going to end this one here. Goodbye for me, goodbye for the channel DJ, and we'll catch you very soon for the next adventure.